this is an interesting article that is both discouraging and encouraging at the same time. It has to do with the world's. This is from Kotaku's Compete, I guess, imprint. World's best Smash 4 players worn down by haters and harassment. This is the tale of Gonzalo Zero Barrios, who has been the best, or one of the best Super Smash Brothers players for a long time. And just extol. You have to read the article to get the full story out of there. And I read it, already forgot some details. But it has to do with just the insane pressure of being a top player in your genre and field. Competing at that high level. How people come down on you for being the best player and hating on you for being the best player because you're quote-unquote unlikable. You're not charismatic enough. You're not friendly enough.
He's also not from the United States.
Not from the United States, too. There could be something to do with that. Slight xenophobia. It has to do with that. And they interview him talking about the experience. And this is a player that came from a different country that really, this was make or break for him.
Yeah.
It's not like this kid had a lot of money. He had to succeed at Smash Brothers in order to pretty much make a career for himself or make a living. Otherwise, he was going back home with nothing.
Right.
Back to South America.
He told his mom, give me a year to see if I can make Smash work. Otherwise, I'll come back home.
So he had to take it super, super seriously. He had to treat this like, this is like, say you're like a professional, say you're like a professional tennis player that happened to make it and you're playing for yourself and the only way you make money is winning. If you're a pro tennis player, like if you're starting out low, you have to build yourself up. Same sort of thing. And he did it. He did it on small events, the big events, playing was playing mostly Smash Wii U. It sounds like.
Yeah, Smash 4.
Which I guess is that one going to be around in the future? You think overall? I think Melee is still a more popular one, right?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, we could get into a long discussion. It goes back to things like controllers and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, I think Smash 4 is definitely here.
Sure. Okay, until the Switch one comes out. So this is what some of his accolades, since I'm not familiar with the Smash tournament scene. He won 56 consecutive tournaments in 2014 and 15, including EVOs, which is the biggest one. One I actually will watch. I'll watch EVO. So 4 years climbing runs in Smash 4 rankings has amounted to a life clouded by harassment. Week after week, Barrios, originally from Chile, but now in Chicago, makes a living. He makes a living doing this, competing at a game whose American fans a lot of the time hope he loses loudly and with malice. And in between each public appearance, his social media is an open channel for strangers' insults. Barrios says, a lot of people hate me because I'm the best player. Nobody wants to be the bad guy every single weekend. Maybe I can be that guy for a year or two, but when you're doing it for 4 years, it takes a toll on you. Is it worth it to go through these negative emotions for 3 days of a tournament, win the money, come back home and see more of it? Is it really worth it for your soul? Does it make you feel complete? Is this something you want to do for the rest of your life? People go to these things to have fun, to relax, and they're not out there with their necks out like I am.
Dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
No.
It's supposed to be fun.
Right.
I mean, if you're the best player, you're targeted, you're hated because you're good, because you're the best of the best. It's mind-boggling.
It is. And I mean, reading stuff like this is why I would never, ever want to even try to get into competitive gaming. Nothing. I read the article. We were talking last night, right? When we were doing our pre-stuff, and I said that I had read some of the article, and I went back and I read the rest of it, and it's just like, the whole thing is like, this is why. Nothing about this makes competitive gaming sound fun.
No. At least at that level.
At that
Maybe
level.
like a local tournament.
Oh, sure. Local tournaments is different, but like at that level, nothing about that sounds fun. I have no... where is the fun in that anymore?
Sounds like even like his girlfriend's targeted for harassment because she's dating the best player. Well, let me put it this way for this. You should... It's weird, but this happens with everything. When you're the best player... Or when people thought like Steph Curry was going to be he was MVP a couple years ago, everyone loved him. Then there's always that turn when people are tired of you being the best, and all of a sudden people come after Steph Curry because he's too good, or now they find things to dislike about him, and then now you have a bunch of Steph Curry haters out there.
I still love Steph Curry.
But I'm saying,
I know.
But it happens with every big athlete.
Yeah.
Where like once you're on the top, people hate you. then you discontent for being on the top. Like, it's almost like, how dare you still be that good for that long, or how dare you be that above the rest. There's a weird jealousy mentality. And if you're a Smash player out there and you see this one guy who's taking it deadly seriously, he's not like, maybe he's not the friendliest guy when he's walking on tournaments because he's walking on eggshells because he has to be the best to win. That's the mentality he has. His minus be razor sharp. You find another reason to hate the guy because he's not likable when you see him at tournaments. So instead of understanding that's how and why he's so good, because he takes it deadly seriously, you then turn that against him. Instead of appreciating this man could be the best ever at this, what you love, you're now putting that as a strike against him.
Right.
And that's what's happening. So this guy can't win. If he wasn't acting like this, he wouldn't be in the position he is to be the best. He wouldn't have the mentality to be the best. Like, people always hated Kobe Bryant on the Lakers because he acted super competitively. He wasn't the friendliest guy, but you know what? He had to do that to be the best, or one of the best at the time. It just comes along with competitiveness and doing that. If you're going to play for fun, yeah, sure, but don't expect to be the best unless you can, win how many tournaments in a row?
56.
56. That's not luck.
No.
Right? That's not like a slight
all.
edge.
No, that's extreme skill.
And again, he was doing this to survive, to stay in a different country,
right,
in order to build a career doing that. But it seems like lately he's had to take a break, according to this article. It's just been too much. So according to this, he's never attracted a fandom despite his rampage across U.S. tournaments. He figures that locals are pretty peeved to see some international player parachute, I love that phrase, parachute into their scene, defeat their heroes, and make off with the loot. Worse, Barrios' studied playstyle and top-tier fighter pick Diddy Kong came off as sterile and stiff compared to others' more risk-taking techniques. So I'm guessing you discovered that Diddy Kong, for whatever reason, was probably the best player competitively to use. But other people in the scene probably thought it was cheaper to use a play like that. Maybe, I mean, when you play Smash Brothers, you're limited to what works the best.
Sure. Because
there's only so many different moves in Smash you can do. It's not as complex, for the most part, people are going to attack me, as what I see other fighting games. You have a more limited number of attacks, and it's just focusing on what actually works in accomplishing them, right? And so maybe if he perfected a style that works, that's it. That's what he's going to do. He's going to have he's not going to take risks. He's going to play it safe. If you don't like the way it looks on screen, tough shit.
Right.
That's why he's won 56 in a row. Figure it out.
Figure it out. Yep.
Figure it out, or yell at Nintendo to make a character that isn't that great to play with that. Is there anything more to add about this?
No.
No? People come after him for being disgraceful, camping in a game, running out the clock. It's like, he's winning. Beat him. If you can't, just beat him. If you think you can beat him, if you want to knock him off his pedestal, beat him. Don't yell at him. Don't harass him. He's received 10 death threats, too, for being good at a fucking video game.
That's just ridiculous.
It's disgusting. So I'm hoping he takes a nice sabbatical, and then he comes back strong, and hopefully there's a balance of fun versus competitiveness for this person.